Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Boba7772 and today I am here to review the new Walking Dead issue 137, A Future Uncertain. So without further ado, let's get started. So I've kind of been, reviewing some issues and not others, but this is definitely one of my favorite issues. They've just been getting really good, probably mostly because it revolves around my favorite character, Carl. And these last, 5 issues have really revolved around Carl quite a bit. So the story was really good. This is going to have spoilers, just by the way, because one of the things I want to discuss is very, very, very much, I guess, kind of spoilerish, or most of the things I want to discuss. So we have a nice image of Carl on the front, kind of a mullet now. Really, really cool. One thing I kind of wanted to go over here is the image. When you see Carl talking to Lydia in this scene, you can just see how, like, clean Lydia's face is. Like, you can see in pretty much every panel with Lydia, but, like, she has the most clear, clean face ever. Like, just supposed to be a beautiful character. Just like, clean, what you would, I guess, think of as pure. And then Carl, you can see all the battle kind of scars on him, really, with his eye, and then down on his chin, and just everything. I mean, you can see it here, you can see it on the cover, and everything. It's just really crazy. And here's a really cool picture of Carl. I absolutely love that one in the center. One thing that I really like about this is that Carl is actually 13 right now and Lydia is 16. So you can, like, there's quite a bit of an age difference, and Lydia's quite a bit older than Carl. So before we get into the ending part with those two, let's go over the part with Gregory and Maggie. So pretty much this issue is bonding between Carl and Lydia. We kind of see him get her out of jail, and he kind of vouches for her, and then Maggie talks to the parents of the redneck parents of the children who got hurt by Carl, and Gregory is like, you guys need to go home, calm down. Maggie, you come with me. We'll talk about this. So they go in and talk about it, and Gregory slips something into Maggie's cup right there, gives it to her. Then we kind of have Carl and Lydia going by a chicken coop. They're talking. Carl's getting some information out of Lydia, which I think is kind of important. I think that Maggie and Jesus probably were like, here, we're gonna let her go free, but you're gonna have to get some information out of her. I think that that's kind of what went down. Carl asked if they've ever eaten a person. She's like, gross, why would you ask that? He brings up the Hunters and Dale, which I think is really neat because we haven't touched on that in quite a bit. And also, one thing that kind of happened earlier in the comic, which I want to touch on, Carl says, okay, but Lydia, and I need you to listen to me. If you try anything, if you try to escape, if you try to hurt someone, if you try to do anything you know you shouldn't do, I'll kill you. And then he gets, like, right up in her face and says that, and she goes, Carl, you're scaring me. And he goes, I want to trust you. I'm not going to hurt you. Don't be scared. I just want you to know that I'm not going to let you hurt any of my people. And what she replies is really interesting. She says, I'm not going to try and hurt anyone, I promise. So she seems like a very confident person. I think that the way she worded that, I'm not going to try to hurt anyone, is pretty significant. That I'm not going to try to hurt them, I will hurt them, is kind of what I'm getting here. And this is where I started getting the bad vibes from Lydia. And then as we keep going, I kept getting bad vibes. I think it'd be really good if they actually, didn't have her turn all evil. We can see Lydia's pretty short for her age because she's walking Carl's pretty tall. She's walking next to Carl here. They're walking next to each other in these panels too, and you can see that Lydia's a bit shorter than Carl, but she's 3 years older than him about. They sit down and they're just talking. He asks if she's killed a person. She's like, you scared me when you threatened me. And Love that drawing of her kind of like surprised face right there. This one. And Carl's like, I'm sorry about that, I didn't mean it. And she's like, okay, noted, you're full of it. Just kind of smiles on him, and then she's like, I'm cold, and leans on him, and you can tell that their relationship is forming into more than just friends, blah blah blah. And then we have the part with Gregory and Maggie, and Maggie's like, I'm feeling sick, and Gregory's like, lol, and Maggie's like, seriously, you just gave yourself away, and she kind of falls to the floor, and then Jesus walks in as Gregory is standing over Maggie, and what Jesus hears Gregory say is, and I'm just going to read the whole page because I'm not sure if he hears this first part, but I know he hears the second and third. So Gregory says, did you really think I just let you take over forever? You stupid. And then he says, yeah, you stupid, and then he kind of cusses her out, and then he goes, this is my town. I built this place. All is right in the world again. And Jesus at least hears him say, this is my town. I built this place. All is right in the world again. He may have heard him say that first part as well. And then this next part is kind of, I guess, the biggest part of the issue, the biggest shock, what they teased last issue, would fans have been asking for. Not this exact next scene, but it's in this next part. So pretty much, you can tell Lydia's getting like really close to Carl here, and she's like, "Yo, want to see your eyebrow?" This isn't exactly how she says it, but it pretty much goes down as, "Yo, want to see your eyebrow?" And then Carl's like, "No, it's gross. You don't want to see it." And then she goes, "Please, I do want to see." And he's like, "No." And then she goes, too late. She removes his glasses, and then he's like, see, it's gross. She goes, no, it's not. And then this next page, I guess, is going to be kind of controversial. So pretty much, I've been calling this Carl's eye hole because I think it's a lot funnier than eye socket, but she licks Carl's eye hole, and she also says, I think it's sexy, and so I kind of want to talk about that part. So a lot of people think that that's kind of gross, and then looking at it as a 13 and 16-year-old, I think that Kirkman wrote it pretty, I guess you could say, realistically, for teenagers. Didn't dumb it down like, and here's something I've been thinking about. So like, if you watch a Disney show and you see people in high school, like, they obviously not dumb it down, but tone it down for kids how high school really is, because there's cussing and all this very vulgar stuff in high school. And then these two are practically in high school, but the zombie apocalypse version, and this kind of freaks Carl out, of course, being younger. And then I think that the part where she licks Carl's eye is beautiful, whereas others might think that it is not. And the reason I think this is because Carl has always just associated it with him being gross and disgusting, and no one wants to look at him like that. And he's always been kind of ashamed of his wound that he got. He's missing an eye. It's like, imagine just going without this eye forever, and then just like a huge hole in your head. Like, aside from it feeling like probably wind blowing in it and cold, and just that funny feeling that you couldn't even imagine because you haven't lost your eye type thing. And then how others kind of perceive him. He's the great Carl Grimes, but it's still kind of a gross sight to that his eye is missing in his mind. I personally think that it looks really cool. Lydia thinks that it looks cool too, and I think that doing this is getting Carl's self-esteem up, making him feel better about it, and I absolutely love that. I think that's why I think that seems beautiful. However, I don't trust Lydia. I think that if she turns on Carl, it's going to that is pretty much going to be one of the main things that really gets to Carl, that hurts him really bad. But then she pretty much, I'm not going to read this part, but you can kind of, you can make this issue up for yourself and read it, because it's a really good issue. And then she pretty much offers Carl baby making time, and this nice kind of shadowed scene from Shane and Lori, you know, kind of in the same situation in an earlier issue, one of the flashbacks. And then this ladder hack start. When Robert told me about the whole licking the eye socket thing, he didn't tell me what happened right after that. We don't discuss tender moments as much, but I'd love to discuss them with you all, complete strangers. Then Kirkman goes, heh, Carl's growing up. So I think that this is a really good issue. It's got really good character development for Carl. Obviously his kind of teenage hormones, I guess, are kicking in. But I think that this is just really good character development for Carl, and I'm rooting for Carl all the way because he's my favorite character. But I think if Lydia turns against Carl, I will be crushed in the same way that Carl will be crushed, because Carl has been my favorite character since for a long time now, probably since like maybe the prison arc ended and like issue 49, I believe it was. And he just kept getting so cool with him. Like, he killed Ben, and then he did all this other stuff. Another thing that I thought right when because like I was reading this on my way home, and I had like my Mimi driving me all around town to get this comic, and I was reading it, and I was like, oh my god, did that really just happen? Oh my god. I was like, I need to talk about this with someone, but you know, not anyone, like family. So I was like, oh my god, I need to talk about this. So like I got home, went right to the forums, like everything that everywhere I could discuss this issue, like thoughts that were racing to my mind were, man, I think that one of the reasons Kirkman did this was like, let's see how the TV producers handle this in the show, you know, if they do. Like, some of Carl's best moments so far haven't been in the show. Like, they gave it to Carol, which have greatly improved Carol's character of killing Lizzie, whereas I think it should have been Carl, because that was one of his main big things in the comics that just made me really love this character. It started when he kind of fended for himself in issues 49 and 50, I believe it was 2 issues. Just like all around, just completely awesome. I'm absolutely loving character. He's grown from fending for himself, realizing that he kind of can't do it, and then he kills Finn, and then he gets his eye shot out, and he goes like to Negan's factory, and he's going through all of this stuff, and this issue is going to be one that marks a very important role for Carl, which is very much building up his relationship with Lydia. Lydia, I think, is a really cool character, but predictions, kind of. I think that she is totally playing Carl, and I really wanted to believe that she wasn't, but after this issue, it's like, she's totally playing Carl, and I think it'd be great if she actually wasn't playing Carl and she was genuine, and that'd make me feel so much more for her character. I'm hoping that she survives no matter what happens, and that her and Carl's relationship, for better or for worse, deepens in some way. Maybe Carl ends up like really getting mad at her and hating her for something that happens, like the Whispers attack, and maybe Lydia has to choose a side and chooses them, and Carl gets really upset, and that actually like legitimately hurts Lydia, because Lydia does feel for Carl. So stuff like that. I'm loving these. These two are probably my favorite characters in The Walking Dead so far. But yeah, the 2 big moments happened, and I'm definitely going to go pick up a second issue of this tomorrow, because the issues I like best, I get a couple issues, because I will usually put them like kind of by my nightstand and read them all over and over until like I think I can fully grasp the issue, and that's kind of the more interesting ones. Like, I got a couple of 124, mostly because my letter was published in that. I got 126, that was a really good issue. 127, and then, geez, we are getting so far into this. I'm pretty much rambling now, but what I want to kind of make a point, and for anyone who's made it this far, to take away from this, is that I think that the whole thing where Lydia licks Carl's eye hole, is actually a beautiful scene, because I think that it is giving Carl much more self-confidence, and I think that it was just really cool, and it totally looks like Lydia is playing Carl right now, and the best thing I think that could happen which I see very unlikely, but I think it'd be absolutely amazing if this happened, is if Lydia was genuine with her feelings and everything toward Carl and all of this. Like, you know, she's just a confused kid in the apocalypse. Instead of her being like, ha, I betrayed you, noob, totally did this just to get away from all this, just to escape, which, you know, she could easily do. But I think that I'm really hoping for the fact that Lydia actually does care for Carl. A couple more things before ending this is Maggie's not dead. I don't think that anybody really thinks she is, because they showed the issue cover for, what is it, 140? Yeah, 140, and Maggie's on there like she's like has that kind of look on her face like that, and then she's looking at her hands like, and then Sophia's kind of standing in the door behind her like. So I don't know if like maybe somebody came and shot Maggie in that issue. Maybe, you know, Maggie dies in that issue or something. Maybe Maggie kills someone. Maybe somebody else dies. I don't know. But that is Maggie is not dead from this. Where she's on the floor here. I don't think she's dead from that. But this is just one of my favorite issues. This is just all around awesome. Here's the part where I said Maggie wasn't dead. Just wow. I highly recommend anybody who wants to get into the comics get into them, because issues like this, where it can just be one issue of just greatness. Just like I think the last 2 issues, man, like these past 3 issues have just been like 3 of the strongest issues I believe in Walking Dead history. But that also may just because Carl's one of my faves. So yeah, I've been rambling too much about this. Tell me what you think. What did you think about the issue? Did you like it? Do you like where it's going? Where do you think it is going? Do you think Maggie's dead, dying? Do you think that Lydia is playing Carl? Did you think that the licking the whole eye hole thing was gross or beautiful, like I did? Or you know, what did you guys think about that? So that's pretty much it with my review. Thank you for watching. Highly recommend picking up this issue, especially this cover is just amazing, probably because I'm a Carl fanboy. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and until next time, Boba7772 out.